I will never understand men.
Well, I wonder why you'll never understand men.
It's a beautiful morning. I think I'll go outside for a while and just smile. Just take.
What up, everybody on YouTube? So, some of y'all may or may not have seen this video. And I think it's a pretty terrible video. I think it's horrible. And let me just go ahead and show you the premise. I'm sure you'll agree, but here it is.
I set out with one simple mission: to make all men 100% trust all women.
Yep. That's right. This woman wants all men to trust all women, regardless of their past, regardless if they have earned trust, regardless of their character traits, regardless of shortcomings, or even if they're capable of being trustworthy in specific areas. The fact that someone has 2 X chromosomes, a vagina, breasts, and ovaries is enough to say, hey, I can trust this person. They can watch my kids. I can give them my bank account information, my full social security number. I can let them drive my car. And fuck the fact that they're not on my insurance, because they're trustworthy. Simply because they lack a penis. This is the premise of this goddamn video.
No, wait. Hold on. You faltered. Why did you falter?
I was picturing myself knocking my head here, you know.
All right, I understand. There are conditions to you trusting women.
Well, that statement is half true, because there's also conditions for trusting men. There should be conditions for trusting anyone, because trust should be based on character traits. I mean, just because you can keep somebody from falling doesn't mean that you should be trusted for everything. Just because you're a woman doesn't... There's not anything physical about you being a woman that makes you trustworthy. Alright? And just because you can, keep somebody from falling does not make you trustworthy for everything. For instance, let's say I need a loan. Am I going to trust and believe that someone can give me a loan just because they have a full head of hair that's luxurious, that just no bald spot, no receding hairline, just perfect, spectacular hair? No, they have to have the financial backings to provide me that loan. Am I going to trust my best friend, someone who would probably give me the shirt off of their back, to give me a ride from my house to my job if they themselves don't own a car? Physical traits have no bearing on trust. And just because someone is trustworthy in one area doesn't necessarily mean that they're trustworthy in other areas.
Just scream, I 100% trust women.
Yeah, I'll scream that.
So, let me get this straight. Women like Omaima Nelson, who murdered her husband and then cooked his ribs to be served at Thanksgiving dinner, simply because this woman has a vagina, we're supposed to trust her. I wouldn't be trusting this woman to make me any kind of meal anytime, ever. But, I mean, I guess you could make certain arguments for Omaima. Supposedly, her husband sexually assaulted her, which she never reported before she murdered him. But let's say that that's true. So maybe he kind of had it coming to him. But let's move on to the next woman. Countess Battery, who is actually responsible for about half of the vampire folklore, being as if she murdered her female servants who were virgins and bathed in their blood, thinking that it would give her eternal youth. If I had a teenage daughter, I would not let her within 500 yards of Countess Battery, let alone trust her. But you might say, well, SWS, that was a long time ago. That was like medieval times. Okay. What about Susan Smith, who rolled her car into the river with her 2 sons in it for them to drown? If I'm not mistaken, the older one was like 3 years old, and then the younger one was 18 months. Children who cannot defend themselves. But because she has 2 breasts and ovaries, we're supposed to trust her. Now, this is not to say that all women are not trustworthy, but it's definitely not all women are trustworthy. And I sincerely doubt that this woman in this video, because I don't know what her name is, but I sincerely doubt that this moron actually trusts all women herself. I sincerely doubt that. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't trust all men. All men are also not trustworthy. They're not all scumbags either. There are men to be trusted. But this is just ridiculous. So either this woman is so ignorant that she would trust every woman in the world despite atrocities that they've done in the past. And these are just 3 examples that I gave. There's a whole series called Deadly Women based on of true accounts of women committing heinous acts. And there's no shortage of these stories. I'm not sure how many seasons they've done, but I know they've done plenty. And each episode, with the exception of maybe one or two, but each episode is about 3 separate cases, 3 separate women. Actually, in some cases, it involves more than one woman contributing to the heinous act. So, I mean, I really doubt that if we were to put this woman in a community, let's say there's a community of nothing but women. She moves to this community. All these women live together. I sincerely doubt that at night she's going to leave the door unlocked because, hey, I live around nothing but women and all women are trustworthy. And if she is that ignorant, she's trying to spread that ignorance to a specific gender or a specific sex, because some of y'all think that gender and sex are different and whatever. I think gender roles and sex are different, not gender itself. But anyways, that's a topic for another video. But my point is, trust is something that should be given based off of character traits, not physical or biological traits.
Who'd like to say they trust women? Sure, no man is.
Now, there's a couple things here that I want you to take note of. First thing I want you to take note of is there are women in this park when she makes this statement saying, "Who wants to say that I trust all women?" And nobody joins her in that chorus. Both men and women. So that's the first thing I want you to take note of, is that not even the women are willing to say that they trust all women. Not only that, but in this whole video, she's very focused on making all men trust all women. But why is she not worried about the women not trusting all women? The only conclusion that I can draw from this is that this woman wants men to be brainless cattle, to be treated by women however they deem fit. That's the kind of propaganda that I derive from this. That's what I think the end game is for this. Because, as I said before, I highly doubt that this woman trusts all women. I mean, just the fact that if you have lived on this earth long enough to be an adult, which this woman clearly is an adult, you have definitely 100% have been wronged by a woman. Even if you was wronged by only one woman, that is enough to prove to you that you shouldn't just trust all women based on the fact that they have 2 X chromosomes. I mean, it's very simple. So, in closing, I mean, it's like I said, I don't think you should trust somebody based off of physical or biological characteristics. Trust is to be based upon your experiences on an individual basis. Has nothing to do with gender, has nothing to do with race, has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with creed. Trust inherently is based off of character. And trying to get people to trust based off of anything other than character is purely and simply put insanity. So back to the original statement that she made at the beginning of this video. It wasn't at the beginning of the other video, which link is in the description. But back to her question when she said, I'll never understand men. Well, I say you'll never understand humans. You're a lost cause, as far as I'm concerned. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you'd like to. Peace.
I came in like a wrecking ball. I